Now then, the simple explanation. Clash representing arguments. Killer done it correctly. Black wrong person. Everyone besides black will be punished and leave this island. Oh well, who cares about the boring explanation? Let's get on with it already. I don't mind starting the trial, but I don't really have a grasp on how this case played out. You know, because I was asleep the whole time. Even if you do have a grasp of it, you're just gonna confuse the heck out of us, aren't you? But Nagito's not alone. I don't really get it either. You're fine. Your head's empty anyway. Empty head? What's wrong with that? Listen up. The emptier your head, the more dreams you can stuff inside it, you know? Yeah? I like how the game paused too. Anyway, we should proceed with the trial of those who can't participate in the arguments. Since he's the first witness, why don't we ask Hajime to explain the incident and the sequence of events? Then, let's start when we split into the hospital team and the motel team because of the despair disease. The hospital team consisted of Nagito, Ibuki, and Akane, who were infected, and Makan, Fuyuhiko, and me. The other 5 were in the motel team, were myself, Gundam, Kazuichi, Chiaki, and Hyoko. Spending the night in the hospital was prohibited, so Hajime and I had to sleep in our cottages. I woke up at my cottage on the day the incident happened. Makan came to wake me up and told me that Nagito had recovered from his symptoms. We immediately headed over to the hospital, and after we confirmed his recovery, I made Makan rest on the on-call room, since she hadn't slept all night, while I waited in the hospital lobby. And then I saw the incoming signal light on the surveillance camera blinking before our scheduled time. When I pressed the button to turn on the monitor, what appeared on screen was a video of someone wearing a hospital gown and hemp bag on their head, climbing a stepladder. Amazing! That's such a heart-pounding story. And then, what did you do, Hajime? I tried to stop them, of course. I rushed out of the hospital and ran to where the video was being recorded, the music venue. But it was too late. By the time I arrived, the person wearing the hemp bag on their head was already hanging from the ceiling. I thought I should tell the others right away, so I headed to the motel. Why the motel? Because it was close to the music venue, and unlike the hospital, there were more able-bodied people there. At least, that's what I thought, but the only person who came with me was Chiaki. But I remember feeling a little relief because not long after, we met with Makan and Fuyuhiko. We were looking for Ibuki since she disappeared from our sight. And after I rested for a bit, I started counting everyone at the hospital. And then I noticed Ibuki was gone, so I sprinted out of the hospital. Coincidentally, I ran into Fuyuhiko, so I pled with him in various ways to see if he could help me out. Various ways? Don't say it like that to confuse people. After I heard those two that from those two that Ibuki disappeared, I had a feeling she was the person wearing the hemp bag. So I immediately led them to the music venue. But the door wouldn't open. Since we had no other option, the 4 of us broke down the door. And when that happened, we didn't just find Ibuki's body, we also found Hyoko's. And not just that, her body was taped to a pillar. That's when we heard the body discovery announcement not once, but twice in a row. And so we decided to lower the hanging body, didn't we? And when we removed the hemp bag, just as we feared, it was Ibuki. So that's how the case played out. Thank you. I understood it very easily. Well, it's clear that the problem in this case is when Hajime left the music venue. Wait, how do you know anything Hajime just said is true? Huh? Sorry, I'm only being impartial right now, and the story I just heard is clearly suspicious. I knew you would accuse me, you fucker! I hate you so much! Hajime, if you're the only one who saw the hanging video and the first one to discover Ibuki's body, then you could be lying as much as you want right now, right? Lie? Why would I lie? Obviously, so you'd make us ignore that it might inconvenience you, the truth for you. Do you doubt me? If you're not lying, I would like you to prove it. Come on, try and prove it to me. Prove you're not the killer. Just as Kazuichi said, Nagito's the kind of guy who will confuse us to make matters worse. Damn it! I shouldn't have to explain it to Nagito. I'm in trouble now thanks to that. God damn it, Nagito. Also, this is still my favorite. Hajame's testimony clearly is suspicious. His testimony is a lie? Then, the fact fact that Ibuki hung herself? That would also be a lie. I don't think I can deny that possibility. After all, Hajime is the only witness. And why would Hajime lie? Well, obviously because he's the killer. Did Hajime kill both of them? He might be imitating the movie. I didn't see it before the murder, Soichi Gando! I was the only one that didn't see the movie. I'm not the killer. I mean, there's no way I'd be able to imitate that movie. Of course you're not. I already knew that. Huh? Before the incident, Hajime had never watched the movie. His invitation ticket is proof of that. Each person only received one ticket, and they're marked with a stamp that shows the date and time. Isn't that right, Monokuma? Yes, no mistakes there! Which means there's no way Hajime, who never saw the movie, could commit murders that imitated it. Or did anyone else tell him that happens in the movie? Of course, no one did, right? Hold on a sec, you're the one who brought it up in the first place. You're so fucking high on your own supply, man. Just sit back. Let the big kids take over. Nagito, what are you doing? Well, since we're opening with your witness testimony, I thought we should solidify the foundation. It also provides a good warm-up. What warm-up? This isn't a game, you know. Don't get mad. I just think warming up is really important, especially since it isn't a game. What a waste of time. Well, I knew it would turn out like this anyway. Now then, since we know Hajame's testimony is reliable, let us move on to the arguments. So that means Ibuki definitely climbed the stepladder all by herself, right? Yeah, I'm positive. Then that seals it. Ibuki committed suicide. If Ibuki committed suicide, then who killed Hiyoko? The murder coincidentally occurring in the same place as a suicide ain't possible, huh? Like I said before, it's pretty clear what the problem with this case is. The killer murdered Hiyoko while Hajime was gone. So all we gotta do is establish who could have possibly done that. Then let's ask Hajime, how long will you say you were away from the music venue? I couldn't have been gone for more than 10 minutes. So they killed Hiyoko and taped her up within 10 minutes. There's no way that's possible. That's why the killer stalled for time by making the music venue a closed room. Huh? What do you mean a closed room? The killer blocked the venue door from the inside to try to keep us from entering the right of way. However, that door is the only entrance to the music venue, right? If they blocked the door from the inside, the killer wouldn't have been able to leave either. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Which means when we broke down the venue door, the killer was still inside. They were? If that's the case, the only suspicious people are those who don't have an alibi for that time. And that's you two, Sonya Kazuichi. Me too? What the hell? Why is it gotta be us? The others have alibis. Chiaki, Makan, Hajime, and all broke down the venue door together. Gundam met up with Hajime at the motel right before that. And if Akane and Nagito were laid up in the hospital, the only person that leaves is one of you two. There's another person who doesn't have an alibi. You know? Nekomaru. Me too! Hey, why are you talking like that, huh? You're kidding, right? You're not up to something weird, are you? Damn it, Nekomaru! He killed people from the grave. Please stop making bad jokes. Anyway, if the killer was hiding in the venue, we should obviously doubt the people who don't have alibis. What a wicked way of backing us into a wall. Is this his professional skill? The killer was inside the music venue. Fuyuhiko obviously thinks so, but is that really it? Is that really the case? The killer was still in the music venue and blocked it from the inside. Soichi Gando! They used the glue. They broke the drumstick to fake it like they were still in there. Hold on a sec. There's also a possibility that the door was locked from the outside. From the outside? How? There was this semi-transparent glob stuck to the venue door. Maybe that's what they used. Transparent glob? Like rubber, maybe? It wasn't rubber at all. That semi-transparent glob was probably glue. They heated up the venue and locked the door and closed it so that way the glue would heat up from the outside. The semi-transparent glob must have been glue. Glue? Yeah, I think so too. It had a firm gel-like chewiness, and I could smell workshop chemicals the moment I put it in my mouth. Based on that, I'm certain it was glue. I also don't understand why you just chucked it in your mouth there. That kind of confused me. I didn't know glue was edible. I believe it is not something one typically eats. That glue was only applied to the areas where both doors touched. By pouring it into the gaps of the closed door, they must have sealed the venue door from the outside. And thanks to that, the glob of glue was left where the door was stuck. Yep, it perfectly fits. But if they just stick them together with glue, you'd be able to break down the door easily, you know? That doesn't really matter. The killer only did that to make us think the door was locked from the inside. What did you say? First of all, didn't that drumstick we found seem really obvious? Almost unnaturally so? It was so obvious, it makes you more sense to think the killer placed it as a diversion. Are you saying the drumstick was a trap the killer set on purpose? Then I totally fell for that fucking trap! Apologize to Miss Sonia and me. However, you're not allowed to slice open your stomach this time. It is a quarrel. Both sides are to blame. That's why it's better to just have no sides at all. So, during the 10 minutes that Jame left the venue, the killer murdered Hiyoko and created a closed space. They also trapped her after killing her, right? Even quick work has its limits. What unimaginable speed for a slow poke like me? If they couldn't have done it while Hajime was away from the venue, they must have done it earlier than that. Earlier? But when Hajime got to the venue, only Ibuki's body was there, right? And when you went back with everyone else, Hyoko's body was there too, right? But it's impossible that the body was just revealed at that time, when Hyoko was actually killed earlier. Just revealed? Of course, the body wasn't revealed on its own. The killer did that too. Here, I have proof. That scrap of paper, is that what we found in the baton lighting at the music venue? That's right, but just what is this scrap anyway? That scrap that was stuck on the baton lighting in the music venue. Wow, now I should be able to figure out what it is. Oh great, is it a Bangman's Gambit? God damn it, I hate these so much. It was wallpaper covering her up! That scrap, isn't it part of the wallpaper in the storage room? In the music venue storage room, there should have been black wallpaper that's the same color as that scrap. There was also a tear along the edge of the wallpaper, wasn't there? If so, you're right. If you overlay the scrap that was caught on the lighting and with the tear in the wallpaper, see, it fits perfectly. I see, so the scrap that was caught on the baton lighting was originally part of the wallpaper. And what's wrong with that? Does it have something to do with Hyoko's body disappearing? A mere nobody like me isn't important enough to answer that. But if you guys were exceptional enough to identify that scrap of paper, you can figure it out easily. The scrap of paper stuck to the baton lighting was part of the wallpaper I found in the storage room. It is connected to the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body. If I trace back from there, the answer should become clear. Alright, let's give it a try. Logic drive? I keep burping now, I apologize. Give you a second to pause that if you want to look at it. I got it! Hyoko's body was hidden before we found it! But it would have taken quite a long time to tape up a hidden body. No, the body was already taped up when the killer hid it, along with the pillar, using the wallpaper. What? They hid the pillar? Yeah, by wrapping up the wallpaper around the pillar, the killer was able to create a slightly larger pillar. It was something I didn't catch at first because I was too busy looking at Ibuki's dead body, right? So when I first discovered Ibuki's body, Hyoko's body was already there. However, because I was concerned because it was concealed within a slightly larger pillar, I didn't realize it at the time. Well, it's understandable. I mean, it makes sense that you notice Ibuki's body right away. So, they used the baton lighting on the ceiling to hang the wallpaper. Then the baton lighting forms a perfect circle around the pillar, so using it to hang the wallpaper totally fits. Then the reason the wallpaper was covered in so many stickers was to make it look like up that pillar. That's how they hid Hyoko's body, and then peeled off the wallpaper as soon as I left the music venue. But the killer made a mistake. They accidentally ripped off a piece of the wallpaper, and because of that, a scrap was left in the baton lighting. The killer must have been in a hurry. If their plan took too long, Hajime could have walked in on them. But going through all the trouble of hiding the body in the pillar is very bold and risky. But the crime scene itself would have been much easier to pull up since they don't have much to do with Hajame's gone. Well, Hajame's gone. They just have to peel off the wallpaper and stash it in the storage room. It's not that big of a deal. Then why was Hiyoko actually killed? Good point. And on that note, it's about time we shed some light on those imitation murders.
You mentioned imitation murder more than once, but what is that?
Are you kidding me? Have you seen my masterpiece, The Wizard of Monomi 2.5D?
Hey, don't put my likeness in your movies without my permission.
You're pretty noisy for someone who eats moss balls.
I don't eat moss balls, I just enjoy looking at them.
I knew it. There were so many similarities. It must have been intentional. Ibuki's death by hanging matches the Scarecrow's death from the movie. Not just that. Hiyoko getting taped up after the death matches the lion's death. It's not as if both crimes were replicas of the scene from the movie. Although they mutilated Tin Man. The mutilated Tin Man was omitted. But why did the killer go through all the trouble in the first place? Based on what we know, the reason the killer chose these imitations isn't that difficult to figure out. The reason the killer imitated the two victims in the movie, I should be able to explain that. The accomplice to hide the weapon. Oh, to mix up the killing order. The reason the killer imitated the two murders from the movie is so they can mix up the killing order. Then Hiyoko was actually killed before Ibuki? A valid line of reasoning. Yeah, it's valid. The condition of Ibuki's body suggests that as well. What do you mean? Dots. If you're going to cry and beg like that, then I guess I'll hear what the condition of Ibuki's body. I'm not even crying. Then I'll let you sob as much as you want later. Just hurry up and tell me before I change my mind. What a jerk. Oh, I see. You want me to explain it to you, right? Because you don't understand what I'm saying, right? An even bigger jerk. Impossible. Yeah, you go, Chiaki. You asked for it, Gundam. She's not gonna let you step all over her. Hell yeah. Independent waifus for the win. Look, Ibuki died because she hanged herself, right? That means when she was still alive, her feet were touching the floor. What's wrong with that? The blood on her soles. She walked through Hyoko's blood. So she was killed after Hiyoko. But it seems Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was killed. That would mean Hiyoko was killed before Ibuki. How light. Your words are so light as a silk's feathers. Your pun is out of your league. It is too absurd to try to perplex me so inadequately. Man, he's being more annoying again. First and foremost, you claim Ibuki's feet were touching the floor when Hiyoko was killed. So how a low-class creature with no physique abilities like you know something like that? Because she was doing something that's only possible if her feet were on the floor. Dum-dum. It seems you suffer from pathetic delusion. You're the one to talk. Anyway, if this continues, we're just gonna talk in circles. I think it's best if we clarify Ibuki's status when Hiyoko was killed. The blood on her soles! She was on the floor when Hiyoko was dead. When Hiyoko died, Ibuki's feet were on the floor. I'm telling you to present your evidence. Did you see her walking? If her feet were on the floor, maybe there was a sign that she stepped on something. Sonia Sansera! Just as Sonia said, Ibuki stepped on something. That something was blood. There were faint blood stains on the soles of her slippers. That is not Ibuki's blood, right? She suffered no external injuries. Then it's Hyoko's blood. Hyoko's only wounds were fatal slice to her neck, and she died almost instantly, right? If Ibuki stepped on her blood, it means Ibuki was still standing when Hiyoko was mortally wounded. Which means Ibuki was still alive at the exact moment Hiyoko was killed. Oh, come on, Gundam. Just know when you've been defeated, brother. Is that it? A shepherd dressed in a Sunday's finest still reeks of lamb, Hijame Hinata. Does that mean you have a rebuttal? Does that mean I have a rebuttal? That's a good line. But are you sure you're sure? If I show you how serious I am, the world might be destroyed, you know. You know, I think you're a loony too. Did he get sick? Does he have the despair disease? You are so frightened you can't even make a sound. It seems you realize our difference in status. However, the time for conviction starts now. You better entertain me to the fullest. Oh my god. Saying the blood belonged to Yoko. Ha! Impossible! Remember the crime scene. There was blood on the floor. There was no blood on the floor. So Ichigando! The smudges! That's not it. The reason there was no blood on the floor was because the killer wiped it away afterward. Don't say such foolish things. You don't have proof of that at all. Yes, I do. If you look closely, there's a streak on the floor where blood was wiped away. When the killer tried to hide Hyoko's body, they probably cleaned the blood at the same time, but Ibuki must have already stepped in it, and the killer probably didn't realize it. Then the reason they wiped off the blood on the floor was so we'd mix up the orders of the murders, right? Even if they were able to hide Hyoko's body, it'd be bad if the blood was left out in the open. Plus, Ibuki's body was left out in the open, and it wasn't bleeding from any open wounds at all. Hyoko's body was probably wrapped in duct tape to stop her bleeding.
Actually, the bleeding will stop once the heart stops beating, so I don't think you had to go that far.
Aside from Makan, none of us were aware of that fact, so the killer probably did not know either. Maybe the heater was running inside the music venue so it'd screw with Makan's autopsy.
That's right, I don't know the time of death because of the heater.
If the time of death wasn't mentioned in the Monokuma file, just to keep concrete evidence from us. Yep, since we have all this evidence, there's no one else who wants to object, right? Then it's decided. Hyoko was killed before Ibuki. It appears that it is wiser to retreat for now. Fine then, but regardless of good or evil, there's no deceit in upholding one's convictions. Can't you just shut up and back off? Now then, let us resume our debate. Wait a sec. There's something I want to run by Monokuma first. Again? Did something like this happen last time too? If the victim actually committed suicide, what are we supposed to do? Huh? Suicide? The same as always. You have to vote for who the killer is. Think about it. A suicide means you killed the most important existence of all, yourself. Unfortunately, that means there's no blackened to punish, but I guess in a pinch, I can always punish Mono me. Rest in peace, Sakura. We'll never forget you. Nagito, what do you mean? If the victim actually committed suicide, well, I mean, I understand Hyoko's death, but I'm wondering if Ibuki was really murdered. For example, it's possible Ibuki killed Hyoko and then committed suicide due to a guilty conscience, right? It's totally possible, then she would never have killed her to begin with. She was affected by the despair disease, remember? That means anything can happen. But if Ibuki's the killer, she wouldn't have been able to falsify the sequence of murders, right? After Hajime saw the hanged body, the sudden appearance of Hyoko's body soon after means the killer had to be alive at that time. Then she was alive. When Hajime first discovered Ibuki, she was just pretending to be dead. If she waited until Hajime left, then that's when she could have made her move and messed up the crime. Are you telling me that she literally hung herself with no way of getting down and then killed Hyoko? Are you telling me she hung herself from the rafters, got down, messed with the crime scene, and then re-hung herself? Are you high? She hanged herself? She hanged herself, remember? There's no fucking way she could have faked that. And if she were going to fake her death, I think she wouldn't have chosen hanging. Her body would have been defenseless in that state. If anyone touched her, that alone would have ruined the plan. I see. So that means there's no doubt that someone killed those two. I'm glad. Now I'm free to search for the killer. What the heck? There's still one more issue on my mind. He's got Monokuma on his mind. He's got murder on his mind. We saw two victims in that venue and we all were traumatized. I'm sorry. If Ibuki didn't commit suicide, then just what was that video Hajime saw? Huh? According to the video you saw, Ibuki was by herself when she climbed the stepladder, right? Then does that mean someone forced her to do it? Forced? Perhaps they used hypnotism or something. Perhaps they used her current despair disease, being gullible. They just talked her into suicide. I don't know anything about that. Don't say it all proud.
Putting that aside, it seems obvious that the killer did something. So maybe we should figure out who was able to do whatever that was.
So, an alibi. Then our plan is to destroy the weakest alibi. Since Hajime has the video, it is clear what time the crime took place. But to be sure, the surveillance camera doesn't have a record function, right? It's a cheap-ass surveillance camera, you know? There's no way to have some kind of sweet recording feature.
Then the video Hajime saw was actually live?
What time did Hajime see the video? I saw it in the hospital right before Monokuma's morning announcement, and I saw the body at the music venue a little after Monokuma's announcement. So Ibuki hanged herself right before Monokuma's announcement. And since we established that Hyoko was killed before Ibuki, that means the time that the murders occurred was before and during the announcement.
Then the killer, we just have to find the person who doesn't have an alibi during that time.
Now then, I shall issue my decree. Let Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi commence. We can exclude the sick people like me and Akane, right? And what about the others? Right before the morning announcement, I was totally sleeping in my motel room. I think everyone at the motel was doing that. So everyone who stayed at the motel doesn't have an alibi. What about you guys? I was at my own cottage. That's not an alibi.
Aside from all the afflicted by the disease, it seems that nobody has an alibi then.
Hold on, not all of us are missing an alibi. In fact, Makan and I both have alibis.
You two have alibis?
Up until we saw that hanging video, Makan and I were actually together for a while.
We even woke up together that morning.
Hey, what kind of situation is that? A hot and bothered one.
I accidentally fell asleep on top of Hajime.
Oh no. Oh, Chiaki, I'm so sorry. No, it wasn't like that. No, Chiaki, she advanced onto me, okay? She advanced onto me. It has nothing to do. Please, I know this looks the wrong way, but please don't hate me. I love you. Your eyes are so beautiful right now. I like the little blushes in your cheeks. You have really nice boobs. Too much information. It's not like that. She came to tell me Nagito's condition had been improved.
And we went to the hospital together, so we were together until right before the announcement.
I get it, you guys have alibis. If that's the case, the killer must be someone else. It's better if we think about it like that. The killer decided to falsify the murder sequence to hide the actual time of the crime anyway. So it is inevitable that an alibi for both before and during the morning announcement would be very important.
I feel like Operation Destroy the Weakest Alibi has backed us into a corner instead.
But committing an imitation murder, is that really all it was? Huh? Faking the time and the crime occurred and by falsifying the murder sequence, hiding their alibi in the process. Was that the only reason the killer made both bodies imitate that movie? Are you saying there was another reason? I feel really bad for confusing you guys so much, but that's how I feel. I think the killer had a completely different reason for falsifying the murder sequence. The killer had a different reason? Dots. If that's the case, are we still in the killer's trap? Inside a trap set by one of us? If so, then and what kind of trap is it? Oh man, are we already going into suspension? Oh wow. I feel like this is gonna be a short one, boys. Why hello there, mon ami. My moss balls sure look tasty today.
Stop it, don't characterize me as someone who lives off moss balls.
And here's some chance time.
What? What's that?
Now then, mon ami's appeal time starts now.
Huh? Appeal time?
Your kind-hearted big brother's gonna give you the chance to reclaim your honor. Good luck. Show those jerks who treat you like a red-headed stepchild who's boss.
That's 99% your fault.
Well, you were whining. Your time's already running out, so please make your appeal simple. About 30,000 words or so.
That's too long. I'll just be boring appeal.
Come on, if your appeal is successful, there might be merchandise opportunities heading your way.
Then I'm Usami, magical meal girl Usami. I am a itty bitty girl who's sweet like milk.
Dots. Jeez, I thought a certain robot's little sister was supposed to be the best. What a disappointment.
Are you talking? What are you talking? Who are you talking about? I have no clue whatsoever.
Yeah. Would you like to save your progress? I don't know. I'm pretty bad at video. Oh, resume.
I'm Monomi. Once again, I've been put in such an unreasonable situation. Seriously, he's like the king of unreasonableness. Why did it turn out like this? We were supposed to have fun, friendly school trip, but it turned out all bloody instead. No, this definitely cannot be allowed. That's why I want you to remember this. Everyone, do your very best. Don't lose yourself, and don't forget to say it frequently.
Dots. The reason the killer did an imitation murder is a reason other than falsifying the murder sequence. Did something like that even exist? Huh? It suddenly got quiet in here. Did I confuse you? If so, I wish I could die from self-loathing. Man, this again! If that's the case, it would have been just dandy if they had gone and killed me too. If that happened, the imitation would have been perfect, so why didn't they do that? Well, it's against the rules to kill 3 people in the first place. That rule is too harsh. I couldn't get killed because of that. Seriously, just shut up already. Shut up forever. Dots. More dots. But I'm thinking about it again. He's honestly right. It feels incomplete. But they didn't kill 3 people like the movie did. That's only because of Monokuma's rule. It's not just that. Come on, try to remember the content of the movie. About the line that got killed second. That's the one Hyoko's body was imitating, right? Even though we're calling it an imitation, the line was actually pinned by arrows, right? It wasn't a complete imitation. If they were going for an imitation, they would have stabbed like knives into her and pinned her down. But Hyoko's body was suspended by common household duct tape.
Maybe they just used common substitute because it was too difficult to imitate the arrows.
Well, that's obvious. That's probably it, but that attitude is what makes it feel incomplete. If falsifying the murder sequence was the killer's plan from the very beginning, then they should have taken steps to properly imitate it. But if they never realized it was a half-assed imitation, the entire plan would have been completely useless. What are you trying to say? Are you saying the imitation wasn't planned? I'm saying Hyoko's murder wasn't. What? Hyoko's murder wasn't planned?
I understand the imitation wasn't enough, but aren't you making a bunch of assumptions?
It's not just the poor imitation. There are also other strange details. Strange details? Like what? Like, for example, why did Hyoko go to the music venue? Why did Hyoko go to the music venue? So you're saying the truth beyond Hyoko's murder is hidden? I have no freaking clue what you're trying to say. However, this is getting quite interesting. My 4 Dark Divas of Destruction are getting riled up. Why Hyoko went to the music venue? If that's the key to all of this, I need to find out, no matter the cost. Sorry.
Why did Hyoko go to the music venue? There's no way we'd know that.
Maybe the killer summoned her. If that's not it, maybe she got abducted by the killer.
No, maybe
she went there of her own free will. Sonia Sansera! It's just as Sonia said, she went to the music venue of her own free will. So, exactly as I assumed. If no one called for her, then why does she go? Hyoko locked herself in her room because she was being overly cautious of the despair disease, you know? I don't think a person like that would leave their room just because someone called for them. There's no way she got abducted? Hyoko locked her room when she was staying in before she went out. If she was forcibly taken from room, there's no way she would have had time to lock it. The killer could have locked the door, right? Just to hide the fact Hyoko got abducted, but the room wasn't ransacked. I'm sure she would have put up a fight. Then she couldn't have hidden her room key in the deep that deep of her kimono. They would have put it somewhere more obvious. Otherwise, there's no point in messing with the crime scene if nobody finds the key. At that time, you were the only one who actually took out the key, right? Then something like that. Oh, come on. I understand other people fighting me, but like, you usually never know what's going on in a class trial. Why are you trying to argue me? Are you saying my gut was wrong? This could be my first and last highlight of the day. Why don't you just let me shine already? No, that's not the issue. Shut up. Enough with your fancy talk. I'll shut you up right now. Oh my god. I hate this so much. Most of these are really just like, it's just to make it a game. Hyoko was locked inside her room, right? She definitely got abducted or something. The killer forced her way into Hyoko's room and forcibly abducted her. That girl is so weak looking, and that's why the killer targeted her. But Hyoko's room was locked. And the key was deep inside her kimono, remember? It's more likely that Hyoko locked the door herself. The killer was the one that locked the door. So they can make it look like it was in your kimono. Maybe the killer put it in there later. There's no reason for the killer to put the key in Hyoko's kimono. The killer probably didn't realize she had the key to begin with. Hold on, try and remember Hyoko's body. Her kimono was all messed up. And there's no reason her kimono would have been messed up like that. If she fought the killer. So she got no. She can't get dressed herself. That's why it was messed up. The reason Hyoko's kimono was messed up was because she wasn't able to properly wear it. Wear her kimono? Yeah, it's also the reason why she decided to go out on her own. Hyoko seemed to be really struggling with wearing her kimono. I believe that was the reason she locked herself in her room. That is why I informed her. I told her there was a full-length mirror at the music venue, and I suggested that she used it. Then the reason her kimono was messed up wasn't because she fought the killer? Yeah, she went to the venue on her own to fix her messed up kimono. I get it. I lost. Boil me, burn me, take off my clothes, do whatever you want to me. Hey, now's your chance. Make her admit defeat, or better, make her do something. Hell no. We're in the middle of a trial. Why is everyone gotta be perverted right now? Then the killer probably couldn't have assumed that Hyoko would go to the music venue. Though they may not apply to Sonia, since she provided Hyoko with that information. Though I knew she would go there, there is no way I could have predicted that she would arrive. Don't go doubting Miss Sonia, you cretin. I'll put you and your hamsters 6 feet under. Kazuichi, it seems you have quite the fashion sense. Do you want me to incinerate your clothes? Perhaps I could do that while you are wearing them. Gundam, please stop, for his sake. Huh? What do you mean for my sake? Of course, I've already overlooked no less than 10 opportunities to kill you. Honestly, I would watch out. He probably can, like, summon demons and shit. Even if the killer could have predicted it, why did Hyoko get killed in the music venue? The only thing I could think of was it was unfortunate coincidence. Coincidence? They witnessed them killing. She went to the venue by herself. She was probably just unlucky and walked into the crime scene. Exactly. She was killed there so she wouldn't be a loose end? It probably happened when the killer was preparing to kill Ibuki. The killer most likely had already placed the handbag over her head, and without hesitation, killed her. Killed Hyoko. Because the killer used that coincidence for their crime, it made the case even trickier. That's the reason they imitated the movie to falsify the murder sequence, which means that low-down scoundrel didn't plan on committing imitation murders at first. Then, what was the killer actually planning to do? They've been cunning this far. There's no way they'd kill Ibuki without a plan. Do you have any ideas? Dots. Damn, we don't know the most important part. No, I think we do. The killer's plan from the beginning. I'm pretty sure we're very, very close. Dots. Alrighty then, my weeaboos. That's gonna do it for the first half. Hope you all enjoyed that. I tagged on the few extra minutes because literally it's like 20 minutes to get through like the first part of the trial, pretty much. So like I felt like that was like really short for an episode, which means like I'll probably be able to fit a lot more of the end of chapter 3 in for the second part, hopefully. Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Hope you all enjoyed that one, and I hope to see y'all later today for the conclusion of chapter 3, baby.